You've most likely heard someone say, I don't go to church because the church is full of hypocrites. Here's the thing. Humanity is almost synonymous with hypocrisy. Not everyone all the time, but sometime everyone has wanted to be something they're not, stronger than they are, faster than they are, smarter than we are. We've all felt that urge to embellish the truth or to just skirt around it. And here's the thing, hypocrisy is not okay, and you're not the only one to see it. Jesus called it out too. In Matthew 6, starting in verse 5, it says this, And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep babbling like the pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. And here's what I really want to talk about today. It's not hypocrisy. I want to talk about how to pray. Because Jesus tells us in the next few verses, you've heard this 1,000 times. Maybe you've recited it at church or at Sunday school. I don't know, but these words will be familiar. But I say we take a second and read through them section by section, and let's just see what it actually means for us, what we call the Lord's Prayer. Starting in verse 9, it says, This then is how you should pray. That should already have our attention. The Lord Jesus Christ is saying, here's how to pray. We should listen up. We should read on. We should really focus. It starts out like this. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Hallowed is really just putting God in a place of honor. It's an old word, but it's honoring God. God is above everything else. He is greater than everything else. So really, you want to start your prayer off by simply remembering who you're talking to. He's God. You're human. Let's get the perspective right from the very beginning. It continues on, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this part of the prayer is really just asking God to have His way here, now, on this planet, not just waiting for eternity or the afterlife or heaven, but praying that this planet would shift and change to the will of God. And that means that we have to be willing to live within that will. If we're asking God to have His way, then we need to be okay with that and fully behind it. So this is a very selfless prayer up to this point. We're asking God to change things to His way and us to be okay with it. This next part trips some people up. Give us today our daily bread. Now, it doesn't mean literally bread. It doesn't mean money. And it just means give us our needs right now. Give us what I need now. It doesn't say, give me what I want. And that's the part that can be a little bothersome to some people. We've talked about this in weeks past, but we kind of want God to do what we want when we want. We want God to give us money, wealth, whatever. Here's the thing. God promises you won't go without your needs. He never says, I'll give you everything you want. But your needs will be met. I've spent a good bit of my life below the poverty line. I've never had to wonder where I'm going to live or when I'm going to eat again. So just know that God will take care of your needs. Doesn't mean He won't give you any of your wants, but He's very concerned about your needs. And this part's tricky too. And forgive us our debts. Okay, we like that so far. Jesus, forgive me. We're all taught to pray for forgiveness, and that's good. But the next part is where it gets a little bit tricky. And forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. Notice the tense there, as we also have. So it's telling me that before I even go to ask God forgiveness for my actions and behaviors, I need to have already forgiven anyone, and all the people in my life that I think have wronged me. That needs to be dealt with before I ask forgiveness. That's an important distinction there. We hold on to grudges like it's our job. So let's stop doing that. Let's see what happens if we just let go of our anger and our grudge and just forgive. Forgive. You want God to forgive you. You know everything you've done. I don't, but you know it. And you know some of it is a pretty big deal. And God's forgiving you. So let's let go. Let's forgive, then come to God and ask for forgiveness. I think it's really, really important. Even the worst people, what you would call the worst people, or the people who've done the worst things to you. So what? Jesus forgives you. Forgive them. And then it says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. We are predisposed to sin. We're selfish. We're hypocritical. We're a lot of things, and not many of them are good in our natural state. Some of them are, but we are predisposed to be sinful and self-seeking, right? And the enemy roams about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So we know that he's trying to lead us away. We're asking God to lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. This is a very simple, very quick look at how to pray, and there's a lot to build off of this, but I just wanted to encourage you guys this week, like, when the world's upside down, now is a time to pray every single day. And this is not, you don't need to say this word for word. That wasn't what Jesus intended. This is just a very good roadmap for the things to include and the way to approach prayer. And then those verses before talking about this isn't something to be done for a show. This isn't something to show people how many words you know or how many names of God you can name. This is between you and him. Prayer is personal. Prayer is powerful. Thanks for tuning in.